The Dyatlov Pass incident is one of the most mysterious and tragic events in the history of Soviet tourism, which took place in February 1959 in the northern Urals. A group of 9 tourists set out on a skiing expedition led by Igor Dyatlov. All members were experienced hikers, and Dyatlov himself was an outstanding athlete and leader. They planned to traverse the mountains of the northern Urals, but their journey ended in tragedy. The group left the base on January 23, 1959. A few days later, they reached the foothills of Mount Otorten. This place was chosen for their overnight stop, and the tourists set up camp on the slope of the mountain, located at an altitude of about 1079 meters. A few days later, when the group was supposed to return, communication with them was lost. Search efforts began a few days later, but the body of the first tourist was found only on February 26, 16 days after their last contact. When the searchers found the camp, they discovered it in a completely unusual state. The tent had been cut open from the inside, and all the personal belongings of the tourists were left inside. The tracks in the snow indicated that the group had hastily abandoned the camp, seemingly fleeing from something. Some of the tourists were found in the snow near the camp, while other bodies were discovered much farther away. When the investigation began, it became clear that several members of the group had sustained serious injuries. One tourist was found without a tongue, and others had damaged rib cages, which could have been caused by a heavy blow. The most mysterious aspects of the incident were the injuries, which showed no signs of external impact, as if they had been caused by intense pressure or incredible force. No signs of struggle or animal attacks were found. Additionally, the bodies showed signs of frostbite, and some of the tourists' clothes had high levels of radiation. This raised new questions and theories, ranging from wild hypotheses about nuclear tests to mystical suggestions about paranormal phenomena. However, the official investigation never established the exact causes of the tragedy. One hypothesis was that the group might have been frightened by some natural phenomenon, perhaps an avalanche or hurricane-force winds, and made the hasty decision to leave the camp. Numerous theories continue to exist to this day, and the mystery of Dyatlov Pass remains one of the most discussed and enigmatic tragedies in history. After the bodies of the tourists were found on the pass, an investigation began. The discovery of the tent cut open from the inside and tracks leading in different directions only heightened the mysterious nature of the event. It was so unusual that many immediately began to propose various theories about the cause of the tragedy. Search efforts continued, and soon details emerged that raised new questions. The bodies of some tourists were found several hundred meters from the camp, and they were not dressed in winter clothing, which also caused confusion. All the tracks in the snow indicated that the group had left the tent in a panic, likely being terribly frightened. One tourist was found without clothes or shoes, others with head and chest injuries. All of this led to the thought that they might have been attacked or experienced some terrible, unexpected incident. Among the bodies, several unusual injuries were discovered. One tourist had a skull fracture, and another had severe internal injuries, similar to those sustained in a car accident, but with no external damage to the skin. Other participants had frostbite, and several bodies were found with their hair and clothes singed. This led to speculations about the possible impact of some strong heat or electrical source, but no such sources were found nearby. The bodies of several more expedition members were found in the forest, near a river. Their positions and facial expressions also raised many questions. Some of the deceased, for example, were found with expressions of fear on their faces, as if they had witnessed something extremely terrifying. One of them had skin damage that could have been caused by radiation, which in turn led to the theory of possible military experiments in the region. Special attention was drawn to the clothing of some of the deceased. It had traces of radiation, which many believed could indicate that the group had encountered tests conducted by the Soviet military. However, this hypothesis could not be confirmed, as there were no known nuclear tests in the area at the time of the tragedy. Nevertheless, the official investigation report concluded that an avalanche could have been the cause of the tragedy. However, this version did not fully satisfy many, as it did not explain many of the oddities, such as the body injuries and radiation. Moreover, the avalanche did not explain why the tourists, in such a situation, left the camp without clothes, and some even without shoes. Ultimately, despite all the theories and discussions, the official investigation closed the case, concluding that an avalanche was the most likely cause of the group's death. However, for many, this version remained unconvincing. Many people continued to believe in more mysterious causes related to paranormal phenomena, military experiments, or even hostile forces. The mystery of Dyatlov Pass continues to intrigue researchers, and this tragedy has become a true enigma that has no clear and final answer. The questions remain to this day: what really happened to the group that winter? And why did their expedition end so tragically?